Colbyjack.net is proud to present From the Flames by Trisha M. Wilson. The people of the fire, the Blesa, led by their queens, have ruled the island of Alfeyju and oppressed the Driva, the people of the ice, for more than 16 generations. With the Drivian King in hiding and little hope on the horizon, the Driva looked to one person to save them from the vile Blesa, the Diviana. According to legend, the divinely gifted Diviana will one day overthrow the Blesa and restore the Drivian King to his rightful throne. But with the search having lasted for more than 400 years, will the Diviana ever come to light? Willow is the slave of the Raskpil family. Bought at the age of 4, 20 years have passed since her life irrevocably changed. Her existence is no worse than any other slave, but within, Willow wonders if there isn't something more she should be doing with her life other than serving the ungrateful. Ordered to travel with her master's family to Sondertoft, so her master's adult children can take part in an ancient rite of passage, Willow is shocked when she learns that she too must participate. Will she fail, as all before her have? Will she rise to the challenge and become stronger after passing through the flames? From the Flames, Episode 23. Willow slowly turned the doorknob and pushed the door open only a crack. If Astrid was in the room, Willow didn't want to interrupt her. There were 2 other tapestries she could examine if Astrid wanted more time alone. But to her surprise and relief, Astrid's study was vacant. She scurried into the room and went directly to the 3rd tapestry. Willow didn't want to be here any longer than necessary. The first thing that hit Willow was the feeling of power and unrestrained jubilation. A woman, powerful by the looks of her, sat on a very ornate throne. Before her, on bended knee, was a well-dressed man presenting a pure white pillow. Stepping closer, Willow saw that there was something on the pillow. From her vantage point, it looked to be a necklace or a thin belt of some type. Willow studied it for a few more minutes before deciding that it was more likely a necklace. Happy with her conclusion, she tried to make out the exact details of the necklace, but again, the details were so fuzzy, she couldn't tell what it looked like. There wasn't any doubt in her mind, however, that this object, the necklace, was one of the objects she'd be searching for. Why else would the scene focus on the pillow? The woman on the throne drew Willow's attention. The woman was richly dressed. The colors of her clothes were of the best and brightest colors available. The clothes were impeccably made, fitting the woman perfectly. Something, a crown perhaps, encircled her head, but its exact design escaped Willow. "Who are you?" she asked aloud, even as she searched her mind for an answer. "She's the queen, of course," Val said, sounding more awake than before. "The queen? Which queen?" "The Queen of Blesa. Don't know her name. Don't really care, to be honest. But they've always had queens in control, while Driva's had kings." "But don't our kings have wives? Wouldn't they also be queens?" "Only in title. Both sides hold their powers very close to the chest. The current Queen of Blesa may have a husband, and his people may call him king. But he has no powers, no say over what happens. The same goes for Driva and their queens. The woman on the throne has to be the Blesian queen." "You know a lot about how royalties run for someone stuck in a room for 400 years, Willow commented, turning her gaze back to the queen in the tapestry. "Things don't change much, no matter how much time has passed, especially when you're talking about the people in power. They like their power, and aren't willing to give it up unless forced to," Val said in a world-weary voice. "The Queen of Blesa," Willow repeated. "If the necklace I need was given to the queen, then I need to steal it back? Why would the necklace be in her possession? What am I going to do? How am I going to get it back from her, Val?" "I don't know. he snapped. "Just be glad you don't have to break into the palace. Only the private retreat."
Private retreat? How do you know that?
Ceiling in the tapestry. Much too low for the palace. Also, the room is smaller than it would be in the palace. Ergo, it must be the private retreat.
Oh,
Willow said, looking at the room's ceiling.
Val was right. The ceiling, while high in relation to the average home, could be considered short when compared with a palace. I should have noticed.
Yes, you should have. Pay better attention, or else you'll have us traipsing over the whole island digging holes.
It's not like you'd actually be digging any holes,
Willow commented. She took one more good look at the tapestry, trying to memorize every detail, and then left Astrid's study.
Sigurd, Hawk, and myself would be the actual hole diggers.
Semantics. The home was silent except for Willow's footfalls, which echoed around her as she made her way up the glistening staircase. At the top of the staircase was the fourth tapestry. This one more brutal, more graphic than any of the previous ones had been. Bodies in various conditions of togetherness covered a blood-soaked field. Some men were complete, appearing to be no more than peacefully asleep. Others, however, were missing arms and legs, and blood soaked their tunics. One man in particular looked as if he had been drenched in blood from head to toe. The few men, not killed in the battle, were among the dead. A few crouched down to check on a body. One in particular looked to be just walking through the bodies, having seen all he needed to. In the background, Willow saw that night approached, and with it came a heavy mist creeping out from the edges of the tapestry. Every single night she passed this tapestry, it never failed to send shivers down her spine. Be it the limbs missing their owners, or the looks upon the dead men's faces, Willow had nightmares about what horrors these brave souls had seen before their deaths.
What am I supposed to learn from this one, Val? That battle and war are horrible creations of man? Look closer. The others were more self-explanatory. It was obvious what I should search for. Look for the book in a cave. Look for the necklace in a palace. But this tapestry, this one only gives me a location. A very nondescript location at that.
Willow said as her eyes searched for something she might be missing.
There had to be something she was missing.
Val sighed. Perhaps if you go to where this battle was fought, at the time of day depicted, you will find the answers you seek.
I always planned on going to the battle site, Willow said. She was wounded that he thought her so dumb as to not do something as obvious as that. I don't know where the site is, but there are clues that will help me find someone who will know. I can tell you that this was a large, important battle. See the amount of men dead? A small battle would never produce that many dead. If I ask around to enough people, someone will eventually know what I'm talking about and be able to give me directions as to its location. No, it won't be hard to find where this took place, I wager.
But who's going to tell you where it took place?
Who do you plan on asking?
Willow ignored Val as she made her way to the last tapestry. This one was in her room, right above her headboard. Getting comfortable, she sat on the bed, laying Val down beside her. Of all the tapestries, this one was her favorite. With snow-covered mountains in the background, the tapestry depicted a beautiful snow leopard mid-leap. It was so wonderfully woven that Willow could feel the power of the graceful animal's movements. The animal's eyes were so lifelike and contained intelligence of such magnitude that it would put most people to shame. I love looking at him, Willow said. Or is it a her? Do you know which, Val? No, but I'm getting cold just looking at it.
Yes, we shall have to pack warm clothes when we go searching for her, or him. With all the snow around him, he must live very far in the north. By his size and power, I sense he will be difficult to track down. Men have hunted him for generations, trying to either tame him or kill him.
But will you succeed in finding the snow leopard? Val asked.
I must. He either is one of the sacred objects, and to succeed in my task I must tame him, or else he defends the sacred object. Either way, I must meet him face to face, Willow said, staring into the snow leopard's eyes.
Something within Willow, a nervousness she hadn't even been aware of, suddenly settled down. Peace overcame her. Finally, Willow accepted the path fate, the sorceresses, and the gods had put her on. Nobody had asked her if she wanted to follow this path, but she would, for herself and her people. Yes, she would follow the path laid before her and fulfill her destiny, or die trying. This work is released under Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, Share-alike license. Do what you want with it. Remix it, re-record it, transcribe it, share it. Just don't sell it or change the terms of the license. Your creation must be released under an Attribution, Non-Commercial, Share-alike license. Thank you for listening and have a nice day.